What's happening, guys? Welcome to Cop Noise TV. My name's Dan, and before we all get absolutely bogged down, infuriated with the I was going to say the transfer business, but should I say the lack of transfer business that Liverpool Football Club are doing right now, let's not forget we've got a game to look forward to. We're back at Anfield this weekend. It's a 12:30 kickoff, and if Jurgen Klopp taught us anything, he taught us that we don't like 12:30 kickoffs. However, this is the first game back at Anfield, new season, new manager. I'll be there, and I cannot wait to get back in that ground this weekend. Liverpool welcome Nottingham Forest to Anfield this weekend, another club with a new manager. Ole Glasner, we all know from his Crystal Palace days, he didn't renew his contract, he said he was leaving. We all thought he potentially would go to somewhere, Man United or somewhere like that. His kind of name was getting bandied about, but no, he decided to go to a proper club, a better club. He went to Nottingham Forest instead, and they've got off to a bit of a shaky start, Nottingham Forest, so let's have a look at our opposition review, shall I say. So, strange start for Forest. They've only played one game in the league, but they've also played one game in the League Cup as well, and both, weirdly enough, against Leeds United, and they've lost them both. Both played at the City Ground, 1-0 in the league on Saturday, and 2-0 last night in the opening round of the Carabao Cup. What can we take from that? I don't know really, it's a bit of a funny one because they made quite a lot of changes. Did Forest 5 changes, I think it was, but they've still got some half decent players now. We know that they lost their best player, shall we say, Elliot Anderson, their most valuable player, most definitely, in Elliot Anderson in the summer window. He's gone to Manchester City, but just looking back over Forest last season, really trying to get a sense of, you know, what they might line up like, how they might look, and I didn't actually realise how poor of a domestic season that Nottingham Forest had last year. So they finished 16th in the Premier League, so only just scraped out of relegation, finishing on 44 Premier League points in total, only scoring 48 goals. So that just tells you that they don't score many goals, and I think Chris Wood was a big miss for them last season. He missed quite a lot of games, and obviously they had the guy up front, Igor Jesus. He's not a bad player, but Chris Wood had an absolute stellar season the season before, and kind of spearheaded Forest into those European places. But saying that, with the European front, obviously Forest had a really good campaign, and only just missed out on silverware in the Europa League last season. But they won't have that issue this year. They have signed a few players of Nottingham Forest. Most notably, they've got the guy from Sporting, a centre-back called Ousmane Diomande, and it looks as though, I don't know if it's been confirmed or not by the time I'm recording this video, but Liam Delap is going to be joining them from Chelsea. So, on paper, they're going to have quite a decent strike force on paper. Obviously, Chris Wood, we don't know how he's going to kind of come back from his injury. They've got Jesus, and then they're going to add Liam Delap from Chelsea as well. Now, the fee that is being touted for this one, the £50 million, to me is just unbelievable. I think Chelsea bought him for £50 million. To my knowledge, he's got 2 Premier League goals. 2. Striker, 2 Premier League goals. And Chelsea, by the looks of things, are going to get their money back for him, which it just shows how crazy the transfer market is at the moment. The fact that Chelsea have bought a £50 million player, he's decreased in terms of performance levels on the field, given what he performed like for Ipswich. Chelsea bought him on that form. Remember his debut season in the Premier League for Ipswich, it was decent. Chelsea bought him, 50 million quid on the table. Thank you, we'll have that, Ipswich said. He's not performed for Chelsea, couldn't get in the side, he's hardly scored any goals, and they've managed to get their money back. And that, yeah, the transfer market as a whole, I'm going off on a tangent a little bit right now, but it's just absolutely wild. And Elliot Anderson is another one. one maybe 2 good seasons for Nottingham Forest, and all of a sudden this guy's worth circa to £120 million. It's absolutely mind-blowing. And yeah, this is why I think Liverpool are a little bit erring on the side of caution, because we did that last season, and we're still to reap the rewards of those signings. And I'll get to Liverpool in a little bit. I'll touch on some of the signings, but just to kind of finish off about Forest, so they've got Milenkovic, the new guy Diamande in the centre back positions. I do like Milenkovic. He reminds me like an old school kind of just out and out defender. Loves getting stuck in, loves a tackle, loves to head the ball away. He's one of those old school kind of centre halves. He'll take man and ball, and I like that. And they've also got Murillo as well, which I think is another decent centre half pairing that they've got going on there. But look, Glasner likes to play 3 at the back. He's played 3 at the back since he's been at Forest. So it's interesting to see how they bed into there, because they've been used to that pairing of Milenkovic and Murillo now for the last couple of seasons. They've established themselves really well at the back for Forest, and Glasner's going to come in and kind of reshuffle that. So be interesting to see how that works out. In terms of Forest coming to Anfield, well, the last 4 visits, I've got the or I did have, should I say, the stats here, and Forest have beaten Liverpool in their last 2 visits to Anfield. The last 4 games between Forest and Liverpool have only won 1 of those. So Forest they've been a little bit of a bogey team for Liverpool as of late, and we all know the fucking song that they used to sing to Arnie Slot, the zombie, it's in your head. I wonder if they'll sing that this Saturday, this weekend at Anfield, given the fact that Arnie Slot's not there anymore. Who knows? But yeah, Forest seem to have our number at the moment, and Liverpool will have to be on top form, better form than what there was at St James's Park, if they're going to get 3 points at home this weekend. So let's have a look and see how Liverpool fare up. So where do we start with Liverpool? Should we touch on the transfers first? Should we have a little bit of review of last week? I'll tell you what, let's have a little bit of a recap of the game at St James's Park, because I've seen a lot of stuff online about how Liverpool played and how kind of lack of quality and stuff like that, and I actually call me a bit deluded if you like, but I disagree with that. I think Liverpool showed some really good signs of how we're going to play, how we're going to set up. Do I think that means that we were brilliant? Absolutely not. But I think we started well. Fair enough, take the goal away from it. I thought there was really encouraging signs. Ryan Gravenberch looks as though he's got that flair back. He looks like he's got that hunger, that appetite, that Gravenberch getting on the half-turn Gravenberch that we all fell in love with in the title-winning season only a couple of years ago. I thought Jeremy Jacquet looks like an absolute gem. If that is his level, I think he played for maybe 60, 66 minutes, something like that. If that is Jeremy Jacquet's level, when he's hardly had a pre-season, all my days, I cannot wait to see that guy at top level, because he looks unbelievable. It looks like Liverpool have discovered a diamond, an absolute gem in Jeremy Jacquet. He receives the ball, comfortable, he can carry the ball, he can kind of pick a pass. I love the way he was punching balls through the lines. He was zipping them into Verts, into Isak, into Soboslai, out to Ingamoa. It was literally I always remember, I think it was Peter Crouch, and he talks about his first few training sessions at Liverpool. And Stevie Gerrard used to absolutely hammer balls into him just to see how his touch was, how he would control them balls. Them's the kind of passes I saw Jeremy Jacquet doing as centre-back, absolutely punching balls into the strikers and midfielders. I thought he had a great game, if I'm honest. And for me, if Liverpool, we've got flaws in other areas. I'll come to the right-hand side in a minute. If Liverpool can solidify the gap between Dominic Szoboszlai, I'm going to call it the Sobo line if you like, where Szoboszlai operates and where Van Dijk and Xhaka are going to operate. That gap there, if Liverpool can make sure that that gap is filled and we're not going to get counter-attacked like we did on Sunday, or listen, Liverpool are going to play a system this season, guys, let's just get used to it. We're going to get counter-attacked. A lot of goals that we concede are going to come from counter-attacks because we're playing high up the field. So it's going to be one of the only ways that teams can score against us. So I think that's something we just have to get used to, if I'm honest. But if Liverpool can manage that gap, that distance between Sobo and the two centre-halves better, I think we'll be alright. The right-hand side is a concern. Yes, Rio Wingamore looked like a fish out of water. I felt sorry for him. But listen, the kid's, I think he's 17... Or is he 18? On Saturday, I think it's his birthday. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, guys, but I'm sure it's Rio's birthday on Saturday. So hopefully Rio can get himself a birthday present by putting in a performance against Forrest. But listen, the kid's still learning the game. And do I feel a bit sorry for him that he's been stuck out on that right-hand side? Yes, but ultimately, who gives a shit? Because if Rio Wingamore can perform on the right the way that he performed the back end of last season on the left, then all my days, we've made a great young talent even better by adding more armour, if you like, to his shotgun, to his barrels. We've given more ammunition to shoot at the opposition defence, because if he can operate just as good down the right as he does for the left, then listen, that only means better things for Liverpool. And does it mean that we're probably going to go through a little bit of short-term frustration with that? Probably so, but listen, I think as fans we need to kind of just calm down a little bit and realise that, yes, do we think that we should be doing more business and better business in the transfer market? Yes, but I'm sure these things take time. Liverpool are obviously in the market for players, given the fact that we went for Minte, and now do I agree the fact that we've pulled out of that because Brighton wanted 80 million? Absolutely. I think that's ridiculous. Walk away, Liverpool. Walk away, indeed. Do your best Craig David impression. The Ibrahim Sarr transfer, I quite like that one, if I'm honest. I do. I think he can operate as potentially a backup 9, as the right-hand side. And obviously the Bradley Barcola thing still rumbles on. The thing with Barcola now is what I don't want to happen is I don't want to see, and it looks as he probably will stay because Man City have just signed Tottenham have just signed Savinho and potentially Marmoush from Man City. So Cody Gakpo is obviously not going to go to Spurs. Now Man City, we know, potentially were sniffing around Cody Gakpo. Could he move there? I hope not, because Cody Gakpo looked like a different player on Sunday to what he did all of last season. He was picking up nice little pockets. Beautiful position he picked up for his goal. He got on the half turn. You could see him, give me the ball, give me the ball. Half turn, one touch, bang, the ball's in the back of the net. And if that's the kind of attitude that Cody Gakpo's got this season, then listen, give me more of that Cody Gakpo. Absolutely. Do I think Cody Gakpo could operate as a backup false 9? Yes, I do. Do I think that's the best of a bad option? Yes, I do. But unfortunately, Liverpool are where we are until Ekitike comes back. And I don't see the value in potentially buying another striker just to then have an upset striker in 6 to 9 months' time when Ekitike comes back in. I think it's, unless it's a loan deal, it's not worth it. If I'm perfectly honest, I think the money can be better spent elsewhere. But look, I thought there were positives to take from St James's Park personally, and again, you know, call me deluded, call me whatever you like, but I really, really do. And then listen, it's the first game of the season. We're back at home against Forest for this next one, and I imagine that Anfield will be absolutely rocking, even though it is a 12:30 kickoff. So listen, I'm all for it. So let's, new season, new start, new manager, back at home. Let's just get behind the boys and let's see what happens. Right. Let's have a look at what I think will be starting 11 for Liverpool this weekend. But can't see much change if I'm honest. Spoiler alert. So for Liverpool's starting 11, this is going to be really, really quick. I think we will be unchanged. I really do. I think Andoni Iraola will go again with the same 11 he had at St James's Park. I thought Frimpong did alright. I think I like the fact that we've got some pace in the back four. Him and Xhaka down that side, I think, could potentially build a nice little partnership, because Jeremy Xhaka, he's not rapid, but he's no slouch. And if them two are going to play together for the foreseeable. If Xhaka is going to be the number one option next to Van Dijk, obviously Frimpong is going to be the number one right back for the foreseeable until Conor Bradley comes back. So let them play together, let them build a partnership. And again, is it going to be a bit of a roller coaster? Are they going to have up and down performances? Absolutely, yeah they are. But they've got to work at it, and it's all right doing it on the training pitch, but you need to do it in a match environment as well. So Frimpong right, Xhaka, Van Dijk, Kerkez. Well, I thought Milos Kerkez did all right at St James. Just that final ball, and that one where he could have put it on a plate for Alexander Isak. It wasn't even a hard ball to put in, and I went ballistic when I was watching that and I saw him do that ball, because Isak picked up a beautiful position. He pulled off his man, he was free, edge of the 6-yard box. You're thinking, just put it on his head, just put it on his head, it's a goal. And Kerkez fucked it up. So that's what I want to see more of from Kerkez this weekend. I like the fact that he gets up and down the pitch now, which he didn't do under Arne Slot. So better balls into the box, please, Milos, this week. So that leaves Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, obviously Wirtz kind of operating as that number 10 if you like, kind of second striker to Isak. Florian Wirtz, I've seen a lot of people kind of getting on his case, and I've got all faith that Florian Wirtz is going to come good. If anything, I just want him to kind of lose that almost kind of relaxed flow that is, pardon the pun, but flow to his game, where he picked the ball up on the edge of the Newcastle box at the weekend, and he had an easy kind of pass, just to kind of a little sandwich pass just over the defender, and it was just a really lethargic chip, and the defender got ahead on it. And I'm just like, for a player of your quality, Flo, that shouldn't even be going anywhere near the defender. So I just want to see Wirtz just a little bit more urgency in and around the box, punching the passes rather than kind of little kind of slow passes, punch them into Isak, because we saw in pre-season that Isak can receive the ball in the half turn. He can take those balls getting fired into me. He probably wants them balls fired into me, if I'm honest. And then up top, I think we're going to have Gakpo on the left, Isak again, and Rio Wingamore on the right. As I say, guys, it's going to be a little bit frustrating with Rio on the right, but let's get behind him. Let's show him that we love him just as much as what we did when he plays on the left. You know, let's get all those Rio chants going through the crowd, because he's a talent, and the last thing that we want to do is kind of him to go inside himself because he's not having the kind of stellar performances that he was last season. So let's just be patient with Rio Wingamore if he is going to be playing on the right hand side, and let's see what happens. In terms of score predictions, I'm feeling confident about this game, and I think Liverpool are going to put Forrest to the sword 3-0, and I'm going for Rio Wingamore to get a birthday goal, Alexander Isak and Cody Gakpo. I reckon the front three all get a goal. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, if you like the video, give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Catch you in a bit.